welcome to a new Gaming Codex, the show right to explain to you all the terms in video games and the video games industry that need to be learned in order to better understand exactly what we're all talking about. And today we have another very important term, fanboy. And if you're wondering what exactly does that mean, well, the dictionary says that a fanboy is a boy or man who is an extremely or overly enthusiastic fan of someone or something. This is not a new term. Merriam-Webster tracks this down all the way to the end of the First World War. It's almost 100 years old. As you can discern, fanboys are not a new thing. They predate video games by quite a long time. And yet they are very well ingrained into the video game space, as meaning someone who is a bit obsessed, probably more than they should be, with a game, a platform, or something else related to video games. And it's not just the fact that they're obsessed. That obsession takes on different forms. It's not simple enthusiasm. It's not simply liking something to the point where they are enamored with it. Fanboy is a bit darker, if you will. There is also the term fangirl, which is not actually equivalent to fanboy. You can call a girl a fanboy. It makes total sense. Fangirl is a bit more of a unhealthy appreciation of something, usually resulting in people writing slash fiction, whereas fanboy translates to more aggressive, if you do not like this as much as I do, you are an awful human being and I will punish you. That kind of mentality. That's not something you find in the dictionary definition, but it is one that you see just by looking at fanboys. Which leads us to the popular definition, and that would be a complete loon incapable of rational thought who will defend a game or platform to the death and viciously attack anyone who brings up criticism or showing signs of not sharing the same level of affection to a game or platform that they have. The popular definition is shaped by actually dealing with fanboys. After a while, you understand that their affection, their obsession for something, for a game, for a console, for a PC, for a manufacturer, for anything, goes beyond reason. That thing is their god. If you even try to reason with them, to point out that their god may be a shitty company that keeps pumping out crap and at one point maybe made a good game, odds are you will not live to see tomorrow on the internet peacefully. By that I mean that you will be constantly bombarded with all sorts of "you're wrong," "no, you shook." And that's putting it mildly. Oh boy, if fanboys were capable of that level of intelligible and intelligent discussion, they wouldn't be a problem, but no. Reason is not something you find in the fanboy dictionary. It's all based on feeling. If they feel you've offended their god, they will smite you with what they believe to be righteous anger, and whatever they say to you, no matter how wrong, how hurtful, how disturbing it is, to them it is right because they feel they're in the right, because they are defending their god. Their god, in this case, probably Nvidia's latest Titan Z. I don't know. People were defending that one at one point. I don't know why they would. 2 Titans were better than a Titan Z and cheaper, but people were still defending it. Or the AMD 9000 series. That was a horrible CPU. People were defending it. Friday the 13th, the game being an absolute dumpster fire when it came to technical issues and design in some places. If you dared speak on the Steam forums, on the Steam discussion page, that the game had problems, you were declared an enemy of the state. I'm not joking that that community probably has set the world record on least amount of time needed to become absolutely toxic. Within a couple of days of the first playable beta, public beta, or something early access stuff that was available, anybody that complained that the game had physics issues, that the game had control issues, performance issues, anybody was beaten down and cast out as a non-believer. It's frightening. What's more frightening is that there really isn't much of a movement to dissuade video this kind of behavior. There's only a movement to dissuade people from behaving like this towards your opponent's products, your opponent's games, your opponent's point of view, not your own, because that's how the internet works most times. Very, very few people actually actively try to not militarize their audience into an army of screeching fanboys. And very few games actually deal with the idea. One series did, Metal Gear, which was all about killing your idols, ending hero worship. And I doubt a lot of people got that. Konami sure didn't. That leads us to the third part. The marketing definition. Fanboys are employees who do not need to pay but will do your job for you with more devotion than your own PR and marketing teams ever will, since they actually believe the hype. Not only will they believe the hype, they will heighten it, they will amplify it, they will yell on the top of their lungs in the highest towers that what is to come, this game, this platform, this piece of hardware is the greatest one in history, and all those who do not bow before it shall be smited, if that's the correct form of the word in the tense I was going for being heathens. Marketing departments are notorious for abusing people, for abusing the enthusiasm of their community, for abusing children most of the time. You do kind of get an overlap between fanboys and people who are under the age of 18, people who want to aspire to something, people who want to find that thing of theirs that fits, that bit that they can call their own and champion, because who doesn't want to at that age to be a champion for something? And they're absolutely taken advantage of by marketing departments, by people who call their followers armies or some such other nonsense. They are constantly taken advantage of, and they often do not even realize that. They see it as normality, a very frightening, very disturbing normality. One in which a company that you do not owe anything to believes it is okay to harness you, your voice, your dreams, your hopes, your empathy, what's left of it, because when you become a fanboy it goes down the toilet, to sell product. Because at the end of the day, that's all they're doing, and you're not even being paid for it. You as a fanboy are just being taken advantage of. Your trust, the trust that you put in this company, in these people, is being abused. And at some point, it needs to stop. Well, that'll be it for this edition of the Gaming Codex. I'll be back next time when I'll try to explain a different term. Till then, be safe, don't be a fanboy, and maybe cut down on the slash fiction. Goodbye.